This looks weird, I'm sure. It looks embarrassing to you. You can go, look at this idiot recording herself. You know what I'm thinking? I look like a idiot recording myself. Hi y'all, SnarkyJay cosplay here. I get a lot of different questions, comments, complaints, and different assumptions about what it is that I do as a content creator, and I thought it would be important to make a video for folks that are not only followers of content creators, but also people that want to make their own content and maybe want to follow the path of YouTube, Instagram, whatever. So here are 10 things content creators wish you knew, and 3 things we hope you forget. Number 1, whatever amount of money you think we make, cut it in half 3 times, and that's probably our actual income. There is a huge misconception as to how much money there really is out there to be made as a full-time content creator. I think a lot of folks tend to look at guys like Mr. Beast as the example for content creating, and the millions of dollars that that guy makes, whether or not you like his content. It's really nowhere near realistic. The truth is that on YouTube especially, some niches are always going to make more money than others. If you're like me, where I just do pop culture commentary, cosplay content, and also movie reviews, you're really not raking in that much money. And there is a whole lot of competition out there. A lot of people will tell you that you're not competing with other content creators, but if somebody has already heard a different channel discussing the same thing you're about to discuss, odds are you're not going to have their view. A lot of people tend to get pissed off when they see sponsorships on some of their favorite channels, but paid advertisements are pretty much the only way content creators can make any real money. It's not that lucrative a business. Number 2, it might sound like everything we do is unemployed behavior, but content creation is work. It's just a different kind of work. Your day might look a little something like getting up for work early, driving to work in a commute that sucks, then getting to an office you might not like, working 8 hours there, and then driving home and using your last few hours to catch up on shows and maybe YouTube. And yes, that's work and it sucks. I've been there. And you might look at an average creator on YouTube, let's say me for instance, and assume I wake up in the morning, toss my hair, maybe make a YouTube video, and then spend the rest of my day petting cats and comiendo mierda. Here's a Spanish lesson for you, comiendo mierda, which means eating or basically not doing anything of use. And that could not be further from the truth. My days typically start at about 7:30 a.m. From there, I start researching, I start writing, and I usually have a few scripts written by 10 o'clock, at which point I come up here, ready the room with all the lights. I apply some makeup, fix my hair, and pick wardrobe because I tend to change my outfits for every single video I do. And once I'm ready, I sit here and record videos for easily 2 hours with as long as some of my scripts are. After that, I rush downstairs and start editing for hours. I do uploads, I make thumbnails, I create tags and descriptions, and after that I get in a workout and then spend the rest of my evening taking care of Instagram posts and stories, replying to comments, and then researching what I'm going to do for the next day. And I'm usually not done with work until 10 o'clock. I also work weekends sometimes. It's not your average 9 to 5. No, I don't have a commute. No, I don't have some annoying boss to answer to other than myself. But it is work. And if you want to see what work at a convention looks like, because I also do cosplay, you can check out this video. Number 3, it is constantly stressful. One of the things that I miss about having a 9 to 5 is that I knew if I got up in the morning, went to work, sat down, did what I had to do, and left, at the end of a 2-week period, I was going to get a paycheck, and that paycheck was always going to be a consistent amount. With YouTube and content creation, that's not the way it works. There are some months that are great, and there are some months that are terrible, and you have to learn to sort of hold on to your pennies to prepare for those worse months. There are videos that you spend hours working on, researching, writing, recording, editing, and you put out there and they don't get the views that you want. There's also sponsorships to negotiate, and you want to try and put those sponsorships into videos that you think are going to work so you can make that money. My mind is always on this. When I'm on vacation, when I'm in the shower, when I'm going to sleep, when I'm petting dogs, when I'm going for a drive, I am always thinking about this. And it is incredibly stressful because you really are on a roller coaster, especially in these early years. So it's not easy. Number 4, most of us are completely on our own in this. I've always said that my dad is the one who got me started, and yes, my dad is the one that not only convinced me to start a YouTube channel, but he also taught me how to edit my own videos. He shows me a lot of stuff in terms of YouTube strategy and what other people are doing, and of course, he also got me all the gear to set up the studio that I do videos on in my room. But after that, and for the past 2 years, I've been completely on my own in this. I get people that accuse me all the time of having all these simps doing my work for me. There is no simps. I am SnarkyJay's entire production team. I am the research team. I am the writer. I am the editor. I'm hair and makeup. I'm the guy that picks wardrobe. I am a one-man show here. And yes, there are some huge channels that do have entire teams behind them, but most of us spend a lot of time unable to afford a team. So know that if you want to be like the people you watch, odds are you're gonna have to learn a number of skills and become an octopus with all 8 arms working at different things at any given time. Number 5, we too find it embarrassing explaining our job to people. I've been very open about the fact that I am Cuban, Puerto Rican, and Hispanic families are notorious for criticizing the out of your body, your life, your relationships, every single thing you do. And it is terrible anytime that I have to hear anybody in my immediate family describe to a cousin, an aunt, or anybody else what it is that I do for a living, because everybody makes that face where they look like they feel bad for you but are also repulsed at the thought that you sit around ranting about Star Wars all day. I feel like a nerd. I'm sitting in my room right now ranting at a camera. There's nobody in here listening to me. I'm talking into a lens hoping that you'll eventually find something worthwhile in all of this. Do you know how awkward it's gonna be if in 5 years I'm still doing this? 4 years actually. Oh my god, I've gotten old. And I have to go to my 10-year high school reunion and be like, yeah, I do YouTube. That's me. Unless I show up in a Lamborghini, I'm probably gonna have to bury myself alive for a week after that. Number 6, not all female content creators do OnlyFans. I find that I'm constantly trying to find different ways to explain what it is that I do for a living, because if I call myself a content creator, everybody automatically assumes that's a gentle way of saying OnlyFans. Just because I am a woman on camera does not mean that I have an OnlyFans. I've never had one, I have no intention of having one, and I know that there are a lot of people that feel the exact same way. OnlyFans happens to be a tremendously lucrative business for a lot of people, but it does get really frustrating every time I upload a video, and for the pure fact that I'm a woman sitting in a room, I get all these comments about being a whore or being OnlyFans or go back to OnlyFans. Not all of us do that. Number 7, we often have to do things we don't want to do because that's part of the work. It's like any other job. As a content creator, people get at me in comment sections for a number of different things. But one of the things I always get attacked for is, if you don't like this, don't watch it. But the fact of the matter is that geekdom, if that's what you want to call it, is my niche. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, movies, gaming. That is what this channel is all about. Those are the 5 things that basically keep this channel running. So if I choose to completely ignore one of the pillars of my job, then the foundation starts to weaken and the whole building might come down. I'm sure you have plenty of at your 9 to 5 that you don't like to do, but you have to. I'm a content creator who does commentary and reviews. I cannot ignore content that needs to be commentated on and reviewed. A lot of the fun wears off after a while because you're gonna have to do a lot of that you don't particularly like doing, like editing or thumbnail creating or doing strategy research. There's a lot of things that are not just the fun and games of sitting around and ranting about the things you like. Number 8, time is a luxury and we are incredibly bad at managing it. When I was working a 9 to 5, that was it. Yes, I had to leave super early in the morning because traffic was terrible, and yes, my commute on the way home was almost 2 hours from the office. But that was it. Once I left work, time was my own. I wasn't bringing a laptop home to write content for work. I was hanging out with my pets, hanging out with my family, going for a drive, going out to dinner, doing puzzles, drawing, painting, singing. I was doing all the things that I like to do. And unfortunately, when you are a full-time content creator, your time is never really your own. There aren't office hours for being a content creator. I've literally sent sponsorship integrations to an agency at 4 in the morning because that was when I happened to finish things. I have other stuff that needs to get done in the middle of the day, like taking care of my family or my dogs. I work out every day. That's like an hour and a half out of my time that I never get back. And this wheel doesn't turn unless I'm running on it. So your time is basically entirely this, and you can find yourself in a lot of situations where people are waiting to hang out with you and you're just too busy, too into this to do anything else. Number 9, we also think it's awkward recording ourselves in public. I see a lot of posts about influencers in the wild, and yes, sometimes I think they're 100% valid when people are dancing in the middle of a restaurant or half naked on a balcony where children can see them. These are all things that are unacceptable. But a lot of content creators that want to vlog, for instance, we end up in public spaces having to do this, and we're talking to a camera and overly emoting so that we can be entertaining when you see us. This looks weird, I'm sure. It looks embarrassing to you. You can go, look at this idiot recording herself. You know what I'm thinking? I look like a idiot recording myself. It's awkward and embarrassing, but the work doesn't get done if we don't do it. I still feel incredibly embarrassed and terrible every time I have to record in public and people are looking at me. Number 10, we really do appreciate every view. A lot of people tend to think that content creators are self-obsessed, and to a certain extent we kind of are, but the only people that make us relevant are you guys. Every single one of you that views, that likes, that subscribes. We only get views and keep making videos and are encouraged to do so because you guys watch them. And I understand that that probably sounds patronizing and like bullshit, but you really do learn to love and appreciate complete strangers from all over the world. It's something really special to find people that are willing to sit in on a Twitch stream or watch an 18-minute video about cosplay. If you're a content creator, you really learn the value of one person's time. And to close out this video, here are the 3 things content creators wish you would forget. Number 1, we really like the attention. I think a lot of people are ashamed to say that they like attention or that they need validation from the internet. And I can acknowledge that it does sound a little bit embarrassing. You just live as a normal person. We leave our houses, we go to the grocery store, we go shopping, we run our errands, we drive, and the world doesn't recognize us as anything else than another NPC because we're all living in our own lives. And so to find the attention from being part of thousands of other people's lives, it really feels good. And I know a lot of people are embarrassed to say that they like attention and embarrassed to say they like the validation or they need it, but I have to own it. I like the attention and validation I get from being a content creator. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Number 2, most of our love lives are actually worse than yours. There really is something inherently awful about trying to build a romantic connection with somebody when you're a content creator. From one angle, I have to defend what I do to people all the time because like I said, it sounds like unemployed behavior to say I do YouTube for a living. People underestimate the amount of work you do, and therefore they will assume that you're some kind of bum mooching off your family and not doing anything useful because your head is in the clouds and up your own ass. And that's simply not the truth. I have ambition. This is my hustle. It just looks different from everybody else's hustle. And all that other stuff I mentioned earlier, the awkward schedule, the things we have to obsess over, write about, research. A lot of people are really not willing to buy into all of that. It's really difficult to find somebody that connects on these levels. I have been single for like 2 years now, and I feel like a lot of people either don't buy that or blame it on me being a tremendous because I'm so problematic and toxic, whatever. A lot of it has to do with what I do for a living. It's challenging selling yourself as a person worth dating when this is what you do. It's also challenging finding the time, and it's even more challenging finding somebody who not only appreciates what you do, but also respects it. It's not an easy industry to be in. And number 3, the one that actually kind of hurts to admit because I play the opposite. We read all the comments and they genuinely hurt. I really hate admitting this one, but if I'm being 100% honest in this video, it's something that I have to acknowledge. I read every single comment that gets posted here, every single DM I get. I don't have time to answer everything, but I see all of it. And I spend an incredible amount of time having to delete comments that are genuine attacks, telling me I'm fat, telling me I'm ugly, telling me I'm a cunt, telling me I'm toxic, telling me to shut the up, telling me I'm worthless. And it really sucks when you want to be a content creator and you want to make videos and you're writing scripts, and every time you do it, you're bombarded with cruelty at a number of things that you may be sensitive about or things that you didn't know were a problem. I can sit here and laugh about it. I can play narcissist all I want and say, there's nothing you can say to me because I think I'm fabulous. Sure, that might be on Tuesday, but on Thursday, I might get a comment about my fat ass or whatever, and that's gonna make me wanna cry. And that's something that content creators have to live with because we're putting ourselves out there and the world is inherently cruel and it's gonna happen, but it's definitely a challenge. And a lot of us don't want to accept it or want you to know about it because why would I want you to know that anything you could say could really hurt me? It's an ugly truth about what we do, but it's something I have to accept. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that I have painted a not entirely pretty picture of what being a content creator is, but that's the truth of it, is that being a content creator is not perfect. The highs are super high, the lows are super low, but for me, riding that roller coaster is 100% worth it. So if you're somebody that wants to do it, I hope I've given you a little bit of insight. If you're somebody that just watches people like me, I hope I've given you a little more information as to what it is that this is really like. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, tune in on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST. You can also check out my Instagram. And if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive photo shoot sets and content. I will add links to all of those in the description below. And let me know your thoughts about these content creator truths in the comments below.